Hey folks, here we are again. Get the right headgear for this. All right. So I went ahead and made a mold of another driver. The driver that's inside this London Circuit City race. What is this thing called? Monoposto. I'm not really even sure what the hell this thing is, but there is a driver inside there. We've made a casting of him. Yeah, let me just check. $20mm Gasland drivers. There's some good stuff here. It's just the shipping on it is ridiculous. Like, $11. All right, cool. And $21 shipping. Like, nope. What's this called? Let me do 20mm North Star. Highway Patrol. Two sprues. That mean you get two of all this shit? All right, well, we'll at least have some drivers that we can use in some vehicles. And if I don't exactly like exactly how they look, like this guy just looks kind of like a traffic cone of sorts. Okay. So we've got this church here that I took some of the plastic off of it so it could sit there, and instead of it just being like this, we can move it back. Well, actually, I need to cut out a little bit more of it. Yeah. See if I can. I don't want to do this with the Dremel. The Dremel has too much horsepower behind it. We should have enough juice in here. Just plastic. Looks like it's hollow underneath here. I just needed to cut through this hollowness. Yeah, there's a gap beneath it. We just need to get through that. Fits on there. Fits on there nicely. We're going to epoxy that into place. Epoxy, hot glue, one of those two things. Once we get this thing painted. Iron Warrior's base color. We're not going to use a good dry brush for this, just a good whatever brush. Obviously there's a belt or something that looks like a belt that'll be painted black. And some other things that we'll paint in other different colors so they stand out. Alright, I'm gonna leave that be how it is. Thank you. Let's go to my drawing here, or the rendition of this particular symbol. So I made a casting of this guy this morning. He's over here kind of chilling. This is what he looks like. Let's see if I can find yeah, this type of logo right here. That's what's going to be on the front of this church. So I want to make it out of a material that I can remove and put it in different places to see if that's if that's where I want it at. Before you go and you hand paint it, like, yeah, it doesn't really look that way. Because honestly, this area is not very big. So, you know, part of me wants to you know, I would have liked for the circle part to have been about this big. That's just not feasible. It's just too large. It's too large. So let's see if we can, if we do something like this, and the circumference is like that, I think that'll probably work. So let's just kind of do a little test run here. Or let's try this again with something that's doesn't have anything dripping on it, like this. Should be the same circumference. Okay, so we have our little circle here. And then we're going to go from the bottom here, about there, and about there. So this part here does not exist. This is going to come up, and it's going to meet these. And there's going to be a little bit of a gap here, and a little bit of a gap there. And we want this engine to be above this circle. So something that looks like that. something like that. Now this is too big. So even if I was to, the circle is just too big. Okay, unless we were to mount this on some kind of a board. Something square. It's just too large because we're going way up there, okay? So this flat out won't work to make our circle. So we need something smaller than that. I could freehand it. The circle needs to be about that size. That's about how the size of the circle needs to be. And then same thing here. That's about the right size. That's about the right size. But I'd like for this thing to be something I can cut out so I can move it in different, I can paint it and then move it in different places and then realize, hey, you know, maybe it doesn't work so good there. Now it's got to be out of some material thicker than this, but not too thick. So I don't think wood is very useful. We could use the plastic from one of these things, but the problem with doing the plastic from this is that it's super slippery. It's super slippery, but we'll give it a shot. It's super slippery when it comes to like trying to draw something on it, but we'll give it a shot. All right, we're going to remove, I got plenty of this material. We're going to remove a section like this from it. And then here's the tricky part. I wouldn't mind for it to be three-dimensional. That's the right size. That's the right size. Let's see. I don't think these are sharp enough. paint something like this. Those pens I have don't write on this like that. Shit, they're not bad. Okay. Surprised they work. I got those so long ago. I don't even remember what the hell I got them for. But if we have something like this, then we have a little engine separate. And it's going to be in red. I think it might work. I think it might work. Now what happens if I remove a little? Nothing. I think we can probably hot glue gun that thing up there and be pretty comfortable with doing that. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, it sits on there pretty well. I could probably do the acetate too. See how we're coming along with this. Yep, that's good. We'll leave this connected. All right, we're gonna need, I don't know how much resistance I'm gonna need on that. Maybe I don't need the cutting board. We got this extra acetate. I really don't have a use for it. Oh, it's a whole other clear piece here. Okay. Is it self-sticky? I guess it is. All right, well, I hadn't counted on that. I had not counted on that. It might be advantage or a disadvantage. Shit, we can make it all one piece. There's no point in making them separate. Let's see how this works out. I have a feeling it's not going to be sticky enough. The hell happened here? They cut a piece off and it's not sticky. All this is a computer cover for my daughter's computer. She didn't want this. So I'm like, well, what am I gonna? Maybe I can find a use for this. just need one for the front. What's up, Ben? You made it to the church on time. I don't know, church, temple, whatever you want to call it. Some Baptist looking church. Right. And then about that height right there. I wasn't planning on doing it this way, but heck, I found this and it's got one side that's sticky. And there might be some bad repercussions with like some sticky part of the window being on this side, but we're gonna roll with it because this is a lot easier than trying to glue this down and bubbling up. Alright, so now we got winders on all this thing. And I'm going to spray clear flat on the inside, so hopefully it'll frost them. And then after that's dry, I'm not going to do it right this second. And then after that's dry, what we're going to do, hallelujah, put a couple of bucks. Oh, these guys don't take money. They take used motor oil, and instead of baptisms, they give each other, 10W40 used oil enemas or something like. I don't know what it is. These guys are crazy, man. Borderlands, lunatics, images. See if we can find some. Anybody that looks like yeah, these type of people. They got some kind of gas mask thing going on and can't really see their face. You don't want to see you can't see their face. Show us your face. No, you can't see your face. So I was wanting to see if somebody makes they do. The North Star people, 20 millimeter North Star Gaslands drivers. I want the ones from North Star. The corporate guys look great. They make a set with guys with punks. They gotta be crazier than the punks. Is it these guys? I think it's these guys right here. These guys right here. This is the kind of these are the kind of lunatics I want. Nah, I'm just not that good with. I'm not good with green. I'm not good with stuff with green stuff. Now, with that said, I made these drivers out of green stuff based on these little seats from this guy. So we made a bunch of drivers, and then I took this other driver from this monoposto, which is this guy right here, and I just cast him. So I can modify those. Now, the only problem with getting those is you got to wait for them to come in. And then hopefully they're not too big. And if they're too big, you got to cut down metal and it hurts because, they're relatively expensive. So like these, I don't mind abusing them and making more of them, But they don't have a whole lot of... I wish they had more of this guy right here because he's awesome. I mean, this figure is great. It's the one that was inside of the Hippie-ki-yay. Herb. Herb is great. But there's a limited amount of them, and the manufacturer's not available anymore because the guy passed away. So, for these vehicles that are open-topped, I probably could make a gas mask, but I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. So it's like more time on it than it's worth it. But if I want guys that just look like, the Stig or something like that, these guys will do just fine. Okay, so we've got this pretty much where it needs to go. Let's go ahead and let's unplug that. I don't want to paint the symbol directly on here because it's going to be hard to gauge. I think if I paint it, let's see, let's get it a little bit more circular. Because I can move this wherever the hell I want it. If I don't like how it looks at the top. Like if I like the symbol, but I don't like how it looks where it's at, I can just put it, all right, well, we're going to put it here. Which actually might not be a bad place for it. As opposed to there. So I think I'm going to leave it on the disc. That gives me some options to it. And this is the basic shape that it is. So I think the best way, if I'm going to paint this thing, probably the best way is to go ahead and attach it to something like this. And it's got permanent marker on it for the shape, for the basic shape. So I think I'm going to start with red. And a little bit of black. Which we need black for the belt anyways. And a little bit of water. But that's the problem with buying figures is I'm buying them sight unseen. Like they look good. That's not the issue. The problem is size-wise. I don't want to have to cut out 2/3 of the figure. And there's no going back. Once you cut off too much of the figure, like you're up a creek. See, are these the super readers? They are. Okay. So let's take this dark red. And paint over the basic symbology of this. Okay, then we're going to decide what color do I want the background of this. And I'll go, yeah, maybe something close to the color of the church. I don't necessarily want it in white. Maybe something the color of the church. So, oh, this hasn't been opened? What color is this? Classic French gray. Well, no wonder his hands are up surrendering. Yeah, I had to go there. I don't really feel that way, but I'll add fuel to the fire. Shit, I gotta find out what time the World Cup is. I go shopping then. My guess is gonna be 3. I'm just totally guessing. Three p.m. I'm a good fucking guesser. I only have to do one of these symbols, so. Yeah, I guessed right. I'm a good guesser. I ain't watching that shit. I don't care who'd be playing, I wouldn't watch it. bring this up a little bit more, maybe more than that, not even noticeable. And then we'll come in with a red. Okay, so now we've got something a little bit more in line with that. All right, so we've got a center. We got the side like this. All right, then we're going to add a little bit more red, bring it up. I take it everybody in Britain wants Spain to win. Oh, all of a sudden they're allies of Spain. Oh, man. That doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad. Let's see if we can remove this and put it up against it and see if we get a good idea of what this is going to look like. That doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. Let's leave it on there for now. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and we have a belt here that we need to paint. So you start looking more like a cult headquarters or than a place you'd go for Bible study. All right. Let's get some other metallic colors out here. We used that the Iron Warriors. We got Lead Belcher. In my experience, Lead Belcher is just too. It's too close in color to Iron Warriors. It's a little lighter, but it's not enough contrast. We got Iron Breaker. Let's get some new water. We don't want the black tinted water. The red tinted water, sorry. Black tinted water would be fine. Just have any tint of red in it. It's just going to be, you're going to be working against that. Make sure we don't have anything on our hands. What I want to know is why the hell the final World Cup is in New York. Like, should be somewhere in Europe or something. Oh, really? You fell down? You impotent little piece of acetate. Oh, which one was that? Oh, it's the one on the front. Wait wait a second, what's going on here? Where's this one? Something queer is afoot. Well, I wasn't planning on using the self-sticking stuff, but I figured I have it. What's the harm? Well, the harm is it doesn't fucking work. Alright, well, we're going to put a stop to this. Let's fire this thing back up. That's why I fired this up to begin with. Feels like a whole lot of day left. We watched that race, and the race is over early enough. It doesn't last that long, and it's early enough. Since it starts so early, it's early enough you can do something with the rest of your day. You guys that watch the World Cup, you guys are going to be spent over there in Europe. They do this rotation thing where each edition cycles between Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, and North America. Well, at least it's not in Shanghai or some bullshit like that. Although Shanghai and New York, what's the fucking difference? Yeah, the window fed. You know, I was planning on just using this. I didn't know it was self-stick. I thought it was, I was just going to hot glue gun it in, you know. So I guess I'll just do that. It's not a big deal. It's just, I thought it was like, oh, done and dusted. No. Just dusted, but not done. No biggie. I actually wasn't planning on using this material. I just came across it and was picking up. I'm like, oh, this is the sheet protector for my daughter's laptop. You know, the one that goes on the front of you're putting some crack. Nah, I'm not getting into all that. You know, maybe paint it later, but nah. You could take things too far. You know, you put graffiti on it like FU or, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's just, you could take it too far. I put so much detail on one building, I won't have any energy to do any more. It's like, are you done there, you bloody bastard? Little bit. You know, most people would have just dry brushed it and be done with it. I went ahead and did all the black lining. And we're not done with it yet. We just want to get everything equal and then start doing things together. I think that as a basic paint job, it's above and beyond where I am going to remove this one. I'm actually going to put this one in first. Well, it was just kind of sitting there now, wasn't it? All right, I'm going to try to do this with a minimum amount of glue. Remove the kickstand. You know, and then if there's like any of this, that could be a crack or a spider web or whatever the hell you want it to be. It's not. It's not that crucial. All right, we're going to put just a little bit. stop. It's not going to work like that, is it? I'll just go back to use the other material I was planning on using. It's going to actually use individual pieces. And with Elmer's, where's this last one sitting? Okay. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. But right now, if we were doing this, let's find 2 tea lights. You know, you can see that there are tea lights in there. And you can also see that it's a welcoming color. And we don't want that. We want this to look like an evil fucking place. Like even evil is going to get, not have a good time there. So once I determine that this is secure enough, I'm going to spray clear on the inside, flat. That's going to frost this up. Yeah, you're going to make me want to put something else in there. I figured it would be easy, like, oh cool, I'll find a use for this material. Nope, you just end up in the fucking garbage can. So we're just going to spray flat on the inside here. And this may not work at all. I was going to Elmer's this. Well, maybe I'll have to punt on that. Maybe that won't be completed today. Maybe that won't be completed today, but the symbol looks all right there. All right, let's get another metallic color. We're just kind of winging this, so good old mithril silver. And there's other weathering that needs to be done to it, but what I hate about doing this stuff on a green stuff is like, I'm like, all right, let's see what this guy looks like. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like. And, you know, and I can't really touch him. Yeah, he's still too soft. If I pull him out of there, it could deform him on the way out. I'd be like, you know, it's like, don't pull a baby out of the womb before it's too soon, you know? Or like, you have a very big cone head and other issues. And other issues, yes, that would be an understatement. Oh, not only that, but this is hitting this. All right. All right, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. We're going to keep these pieces, but gluing them down like this is not going to work. They cool down too fast, and I'm not going to repaint those little spots. All right, let's identify one of these long sides. Okay, cool. Now, where's my super runners? I need to start working on this stuff, not to get stuff done. We're here to get stuff done. have to go right up to the edge of the window. We want some flexibility. Be able to move it. And we're going to take one of these. Problem is it cured way too fast. This wouldn't have happened if I'm like, oh, there's self-adhesive. Barely. Hopefully you can't see those little spots through the windows that the paint rub off. If they did, well then I'll just take the whole fucking thing out of it, but I'm not going to punt right now. I'm not going to punt with it. We're going to set this one backwards. Boy, everything's going wrong. Well, I shouldn't have done any windows with it, probably. No. We will show you that we will kick this thing's ass. Oh. Well, that took the stickiness right off of it. Okay, well, maybe that's what I should have done to begin with. Tells you how unsticky it was. Now it's completely clear. All right, I'll tell you what. I am not happy with how this is turning out. So we're going to go in a different direction. We're not going to worry about this detail right now. Trying to keep myself working on this and not like, hey, let's build another car. Like, no, how about let's build this thing? We already got it started. I have to do what I did not want to do. That ended up being like that little fence that I started working on. I still have it over there. I haven't put the stuff on it. You know, like the little barrier. All right, let's. We already got black here, don't we? We do. All right, where's the other color that we used? Was it brown? No, it wasn't dark chocolate. Real brown, as opposed to the fake one. All right, back to square one. That won't take long to dry. I'm just so curious as to who the hell's underneath here. Ah, he doesn't look very good. Might not have been a good casting, but I think I can work with him. All right, let's not touch him. He's a little bit bigger than the other guys. I couldn't resist. I'd be sitting there about 3 hours, maybe. All right. So my glue options are epoxy, no, or I don't think Elmer's is going to work. I don't think Elmer's is going to work. I don't think Elmer's is going to work. Where's my 4 sheets? One, 2. It's 2 of these that are long, okay, and then one of them that is the whole side. So this is another one, and then the one that goes on the back, which is just these 2. That's another one. It's these 3. It's just an extra piece. All right, can we remove this? Not that it's a big deal if I can't. Well, it's likely that the windows are going to look kind of dirty anyway, so I don't think the cracks or anything like that are really necessary per se. Let's go ahead and paint this door. The door is not painted much, especially since I got this color right here, this brown. Keep it down over there. Add the depth of another color in here. Yeah, World Cup's probably big like in Miami or whatever. Some place that has like a lot of people from Latin American countries or everybody that's Argentinian down there is in favor of Argentina. Everybody else probably wants Spain to win. Going to be some other dry brushings on top of this as well, so I might as well have another hint of another color in here. Okay, well that's improved. Let's take a look at something. Let's take a look at a real photo. What's the key word I should say? Rural church made of wood but run down looking. Okay, not that rundown. Jesus. It has shakes. My question is, can you see where the nails are? I don't think I'm going to go there. Not on the verticals, I don't think. Might look better on the roof. Now, the roof we were using iced coffee in black, as opposed to whatever the hell this was colored, barnwood. So black's over here. Put some of that iced coffee there. And this should work fine. This is the color that we ended up with. We did not do this to the roof. Yeah. more of this. That's what we need to do, something like that. All right, let's make some more of this batch. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Other than any kind of weathering that we're going to do. So let's get some of these super brushes here. I don't want to use white, not for the roof. I don't know that I want to use that either. That may be what I need to do though. So I'll use white, it would be 2. Needs to be a little warmer. It's real subtle. Now, how's it dark green? This looks like the color of the 1940 German helmet with a little green around the collar. That's exactly what that looks like. That ist mein Haus. Man, that's really subtle, but I feel like it makes a big difference. It's really, really light. Like really, really like you probably wouldn't even notice it. That's looking pretty damn good. That's looking pretty damn good. So the question is, what are we going to use to close this thing up? Super glue ain't gonna work. Super glue is not gonna work. Elmer's is too slippery. I could just not close it up. It's not that big of a deal. I think we need to take that red and bring it up a little bit. this vehicle. Now, I thought I was actually going to use this engine. I can put another engine here. Well, then you really have no place to put the. You really have no place to put the logo for it. Where's the bottom of this? And here is the other thing. This is kind of weird because it has the front of this here. So you actually have to mount. Actually, this one's got to go in first. And then this goes over it. With the wheels that need to be on there. I wanted to switch the wheels out because the wheels that are on here are just kind of like a smooth. I'm thinking I'm going to. I could change that. We don't have this thing built though. This thing does not have a build yet. And the problem is the front, because if I put these two knobby wheels on here, which look like they would be okay. Does it fit in the wheel well? It does. So if we put these two knobby wheels and close this up, that goes there. And then this goes here. Okay, we're good there. And then this one. I may have to just stick with the regular wheels that it came with. I don't like them because they're slick. These huge ass wheels are back here. And the other wheels are smooth. And they're right here. I guess we'll roll with it. We'll roll with this one. I had it in there. I wanted to see if there maybe something else I could do. Not really. I'll be right back. Go to the little boy's room. What a strange arrangement. Strange arrangement. I'm going to enlarge this. Well, as soon as I can find the X-Acto knife, there we go. Yeah, it's getting close to the World Cup start, so I'm going to try to head on over to the grocery store and do the stuff that we need to do. Not that it's going to affect not many people in the grocery store, because we frankly don't care here, as a general rule. I wouldn't care at all. I wouldn't care if it was a Super Bowl. So it's not like, oh, that's just because you're American. Well, no, I just don't fucking care. We watched our Formula One race today. That was my only response. That was my only sporting event. Although I wouldn't call racing a sporting event. Let's see if we can close this up here. There we go. Close that thing up, all right? And then we'll go to the front. This thing needs a name. This thing needs a name. There's a couple names I've been kicking around. None of them I've loved. But it needs a name before I decide what the hell this thing is armed with. I don't think it's going to be a performance car. It's just, this thing is going to turn like a battleship. It's definitely going to have nitro. It's definitely going to have a hot start, probably. It may not have hot. Yeah, it needs to have hot. It needs to have hot start. Definitely nitrous. I like to call it motor mouth. The problem with calling it motor mouth is I'm going to want to paint a mouth on it, like like a flying tigers or something like that. And I'm not sure I want that on this vehicle. Okay. But this is definitely a vehicle for these folks. Profits of petrol. Definitely has all the signs of that. And where we're going to re-glue this engine. I was originally thinking I was going to use this engine to put on the top of this, and then I found this pack. So I didn't want to... I mean, I could have put another engine here, but this is the one that fits on here. So, while that's drying, okay, that's the scripture idea. All right. The blessed blower. Well, it does have a huge blower on it. The fuel drinker would also be good. The death blower. That's not bad. Blower of doom. Blower be thy name. The final blower, the last blower. Blower of wrath. Death blower, can't do death blower without having a skull on it. And I'm okay with that. Because I have a little skull I can put on the front of this. Where's my piece? Where's my pieces parts? That's not bad. It's hard to find some things when those things to work on. Oh, we got a big one. Does that fit on there too? Because sometimes the sides of these just don't fit smoothly. The blowpocalypse. Not the right circumference. Not the right circumference for that one. Okay. Well, you have another one that can go on the front. It's the right circumference for the front, for sure. Nah, it's a little short too. Damn it. Yeah, it's a little short. It's a little tighter than that. Well, look good on paper. The large one fits good up front. Okay. Well, I don't have to have it on the front and the back. It could just be one and or the other. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good and it'll fit flush too. Okay. We'll put the tight pattern on there. I'd like to put a freaking chain gun on it. Been looking to use that for something. It'd have to be to one side so we can shoot around this thing. Or, you know, off on a door. That'd work okay too. This I've got to build something to it. So maybe that's not the one to do it on. So it's an American car, so the driver's over here. So we could glue this like so. go ahead and smooth this out and glue this in place. I think I'm going to spell out the name of this one on the side of the vehicle. I don't want to do that on every vehicle, but it's just like it's just missing something. Just missing a little something. This fits completely flush on this car. I'm going to use that as an advantage because it is hard to find something that fits really flush on this. It'll also hide the fact that it has like racing slicks. I'm not a fan of that. Or maybe they were knobby, they just wore the hell out of them. But could be either way. Epoxy might be the way to go with that. I'm probably going to need to use epoxy on this one just to hold it in place. Let's mix up some epoxy. What are we going to apply it with? We got a paper clip around here somewhere. I mean, we have one over there. I know that there's one that floats around here. Here we go. Let's get some Bob Smith Industries, a Rumpf. See how little of this we can get away with using. And then something like this could probably I think I have only one vehicle that has this, one of these, and it's the gas hole. And the gas hole is going to be one of these profits of petrol, especially because it looks like a gas hauling vehicle anyway. So that's like a extra, it's free extra whammy there, freebie. Can we hold on to this with the spikes, except their spikes are tapered, so. I'm not going to paint them first. It's not normally how I handle things. All right, here we go. Block my own light here. Come on. Definitely need that for that to dry a little bit more before we put the chain gun that's literally at 90 degrees. Once that dries, it's like rock solid. Yeah, that adds a nice touch. That adds a nice touch to that. I tried using those spiky things, man. They're hard to find something to work with. And then this is going to sit off to the side like this. Maybe even like that. How are we doing on this? Yep, there we go. Glad I didn't do this with super glue. Super glue is just really incorrigible. Couldn't put it here. It ended up shooting through the spikes. I mean, it could work because, who cares? But let's try to not do that if we can avoid it. And we could put a wing back here too, but I don't think it needs one. It definitely looks like it's. Oh, we do need this. Yeah, we could put that on with super glue. I don't know that I want to put. I don't know that I want to put it on the front like this. Let's not do that. On a part that doesn't spin. All right, let's check everything for alignment. Okay, that's great. This one dripped down, of course. Okay. That's good. And this is good. That's good. The death blower. Okay. Yeah, it's some kind of exaggerated charger looking thing. All right, so I think I'm going to go to the grocery store now that everybody's watching grown men playing with their balls. And we'll come back and prime the rest of it. I think I'm pretty happy with this thing right here. Other than the windows, which need to be put on. No, I'm not too terribly worried about that at this point.